Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I will be talking about girl defined and modesty. As you might know, this is a channel created for me to be a bit more controversial on. Also, occasionally there might be kind of some Christian takes from my dear best friend. So I recorded the whole conversation and audio turned out crappy, like very crappy. So there are snippets that are fine, and that's what's going to be shown to you. But most importantly, this video is kind of a collab with Confused Clown. Wonderful, gorgeous, hilarious. I just love her content. So you can go check her out. She will be linked in my description. Very easy peasy. Just take a look and find her channel out. And yeah, I think you won't regret it. Okay, so what I wanted to say actually is that we have both religious and kind of cultural differences because I am from Europe, so to put it very, very broadly, because I don't want to give my location off over here. So yeah, I cannot wait to see how this turns out. But I do think that Confused Clown and I will be on around a similar page. We'll see. Let's get into this. Alright.
Thing you say, yeah.
You know, more seductive things.
That was the
my inappropriate had to take it off. That's very inappropriate.
Hey.
Okay, so we have the wonderful music here. It's always been something that really gets me, like the overly cheery vibe of this channel.
Oh, it's alright! In honor of this holiday weekend, we've got our epic costumes on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my hat.
Okay, saying epic kind of ironically. I don't know, but there's just something icky about that. From the get-go.
We have got a
feeling
special edition, Girl Defined, Kristen, Susanna.
Make them guess who I am. I don't know if they know.
I can't. Where's Waldo?
It's
Okay.
Waldo! Okay.
Okay,
Totally
who is
off.
she? Rebecca.
Alright, so I need to remember the names. Obviously we have our Kristen. In the back, there's Susanna. And we have Rebecca on my left. So, yeah. Okay, I'm good.
So we want to talk about something that's pretty controversial, but something that we've heard a lot of like chatter about, and you know, I feel like it's kind of, for some of us, like some of you may feel like, yes, thank you for finally talking about this, and others might be like, okay, this is an interesting conversation, so we're excited to hear your comments at the end. But we want to talk.
So excited to hear your comments that they are disabled. Please don't mind me showing you my recommended, but it's nothing that's not expected. Like I already talked about how much I watch Rachel Oates and like Jimmy, so. Okay. Comments turned off, and we don't have the like to dislike ratio, which is something I like to pay attention to, because I don't want to be too dramatic, but like, if any of you guys know the Alex O'Connor and Muhammad Hijab situation, comments are pretty vital when it comes to discussion, and most people who don't leave them open but claim to want an open discussion are, in my humble opinion, very dodgy. Also, if you can hear my Dago squirrel running his wheel, I am so sorry, but I cannot move him anywhere.
On for a while, but when Halloween hits, it just seems like everybody gets a pass to dress however they want.
As adults should, for the most part. Obviously, like, you're not gonna wear the same clothes to your grandma's or to your parents' house and like to a party, but you're an adult, so like you still have a choice whenever you're an adult. Yeah, let's continue.
Right, like
Yeah.
from the goriest, like bloodiest costume.
Okay, here's my take on this. I am horrible with gore. That's a confession. I'm absolutely horrible with gore and blood and things of that sort. I cannot watch movies sometimes because there's so much blood and like especially hospital scenes and stuff. Like I hate these things. but I will never go ahead and tell someone not to wear a costume, because then I'm aware it's a costume. But I think movies have like that special element of like, oh, this is supposed to seem like a real situation. So even that fact kind of, you know, makes me terrified. So yeah, I hate bloody stuff, but I wouldn't tell anyone not to wear a costume that's gory. Like, it's way, like, it's way too much. It's way too pushy. Why do it?
Oh, nasty.
Like,
I can't even look at it.
Nasty?
It's actually nasty.
Like, ooh, what is even happening? To like extremely seductive, where you're basically wearing lingerie to parties and in public. And
Well, adults should wear what adults want to wear. I've already said it. So like, if that's lingerie, the only issue I would have with someone wearing lingerie is if a person is underage. So, yeah. That's literally it.
So I think instead of being like a follower in that, like, you can be a leader in your group. Like, hey, let's maybe not wear those sorts of things, or like, hey, I'm not going to, and maybe even just talk to your girlfriends, like, hey, like, maybe we shouldn't do this, or, you know, what do you think like the guys are thinking?
Why would it matter what guys are thinking? That's my question. Because ultimately, I think whenever you dress, regardless of if you're religious or not, you dress for yourself. If you want something to represent your religion, there shouldn't be one exact strict way to do that. Unfortunately, wonderful words of my best friend were completely baffled by the bad audio that I had in the recording. But she said something along the lines of, you know, many of my Christian friends, as well as myself, we all have different ways of honoring God, and we all have different ideas of what's quote-unquote God honoring, right? So I think that's something they should keep in mind as well. But in my opinion, it is just ridiculous to go straight to like, oh, what will guys think? Because even if guys do think something, sorry, even if guys do think something, that is their responsibility to control, if that thought is causing them to want to do things, which then it's completely not like their fault. It's not the fact that they're wearing a freaking short dress, it's the fact that the guy's maybe a creep.
Or just like try to maybe start a conversation with your friends instead of just like, oh, everyone's doing it, like I want to do it too.
I mean, I don't think that happens so much, but if they are so peer pressured, like, think of why, because no one is actually holding them and telling them to celebrate Halloween 100%. And always. Like, no one is holding a gun up to their heads and saying, celebrate Halloween! No one is doing that, and I don't get why they're acting like someone is.
I think it can be easy to forget, like, oh, it's what you're wearing for Halloween, like, is what you're wearing. It can be easy to think, like, oh, it's just a costume, like, I wouldn't actually wear this in real life, but it's...
Yes, because it is just a costume. I think there's no kind of other thing that it is. It is a Halloween costume.
Halloween, just because it's popular, just because it's what everyone else is doing. So we just want to encourage y'all, a good old Texas word, to really think about what you're wearing. And like Sue, you recommended to be, did you recommend it or you did? To be the leader.
Oh yeah.
I did
it.
You did that. To be the leader in your group, even if everyone else is doing it, and just like, you know, just set that standard. And even if you're the...
Okay, that's something I surprisingly agree with. Like, voice your opinions because you never know who might need them. When it comes to these things, you never know who might be comfortable or uncomfortable wearing certain things. But don't peer pressure people like these do. The irony is that they talk about peer pressure so much, yet they are the ones who peer pressure people. Like, they peer pressure people.
The only one, to be okay with being the only one, and to choose to glorify God, to honor him in a way that would be honoring to him. So as a Christian girl. So just some encouragement there. You're not alone either, right?
Oh yeah, because we're so oppressed. You're completely not alone. No, seriously. Obviously you're not alone. There are so many people in different countries that are not the US that don't celebrate Halloween.
You might feel like I'm the only one, but you're not.
No.
We're right there with you, sister. But hey, let's give some ideas, because, you know, you don't have to even celebrate Halloween, right? And I know that's a controversial topic amongst Christians. Like, do we celebrate it?
Yeah.
Do we not? That's not really what this video is about, but there are some great alternatives, ways that you can participate in this holiday in a way that is God honoring and even like ministry focused.
Yeah.
And
Oh no, here's where the worst part comes, and I think when I finish this, we could even wrap up the video. We'll see.
even ways that you can have fun without celebrating all the death, the
Yeah.
gore, the evil, that kind of.
See, that's funny, because gore isn't really, like, evil. Obviously, death is horrible, but, like, I don't think Halloween is celebrating death. But fine.
Comes with it. So
Yeah.
any thoughts on ideas, alternatives?
Yes. The first one that comes to mind is last year a group from our church actually dressed up and they went door to door. So they were all like in super fun costumes. And they went door to door in a neighborhood and they were giving out cans of food and kind of sharing the gospel like through that. So it was still fun for them because they're in costumes going door to door, but with a different purpose.
Yeah.
Of, like,
Yeah, that is absolutely horrific. I cannot imagine, like, being a tiny kid, I don't know, like, 8 to 10 years old, watching these girls knock on my door, just needing to stay at home because it's COVID. Stay safe, people. And yeah, like, it's horrific. Like, I just don't see the point of it. Like, fine, within your community, share it, pray, sing, do whatever, but you don't have to share the gospel on Halloween just because you don't want to celebrate it.
sharing the gospel. And so that was like a really fun
that's
idea.
so
Like,
sweet.
oh, that's a cool way to participate without being like, I don't know, like evil. Or,
Without being evil. And that's a weird thing, like, they think they're evil if they don't participate, which, boy, how many people would be evil that I know. Alright, so these are just some of the ending thoughts. To sum everything up, I am definitely not against girly find as people, but these beliefs are just something that I find very dodgy, and just the things that I've hopefully coherently described. Yeah, it is really iffy whenever you, like, claim to be in such pressure, yet actually pressure other people, like advertising Gay Girl Good God and writing so many things that might put young women in a horrible mental state, not to mention. So yeah, I have at this point seen Confused Clown's video, and I know mine is a tiny bit more serious, but hope you enjoy her jokes and generally vibe, because I really love it. As I've mentioned, her channel is in the description and you can go check her out. You won't regret it. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much, and see you next time.